Hello and welcome to another episode of The Lions Den. I am Jocelyn Pomplin, joined today by men's basketball coach Zane Gibson. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Justin.
So last week, two more home games as conference play continued against Rogers State and Central Oklahoma. Wednesday against Rogers, another close game, kind of like it's been all season.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just where it's been from us. Rogers is a really good team. Had opportunities. We just go through 7-8 minute dry spells that really hurt us throughout all these games. I mean, so I guess if the game was only 30 minutes, we'd be okay. But we have struggled to play a full 40 to this point. We got closer to that on Sunday versus UCO. We just got to keep hanging in there. Just keep hanging in there and keep battling, keep fighting. And eventually things will start falling more our way.
And they kind of did fall your way on Saturday. It took a while, but in the second half, we scored 56 points on 58.6% shooting in the second half. But like you said, in the first half, we went through one of those 7-minute dry spells.
Yeah. No, it was the same thing versus Rogers. I think versus Rogers, we scored 51 in the second half, maybe only 25 in the first half. That might be it wrong, but it was something like that. And we did the same thing versus UCO. We scored 23 in the first half, then 56 in the second. If we could ever put two halves together, we'd be probably a pretty tough team to beat. But it's just those dry spells, in all these games. I mean, the score versus Rogers was like 19-16 before it kind of opens up. The score is 20 to 20 versus UCO before they blow it out, before they get to the halftime locker room. Just something we're trying to figure out right now, how we can avoid those, and if we can. It'll help us a lot more in these upcoming games, but that's obviously been a bugaboo we've been dealing with since November.
Yeah, and then, like I said, struggled with it throughout most of the year, but then the last 5 minutes yesterday, everything clicked.
Yeah.
We scored them 21-2 over the last 5-10.
It was that last five were pretty fun. The guys really buckled down defensively. You have to get stops. That's the first thing. I mean, you can score 21, but if you give up 18, then it's all for naught. So they finally got some stops and rebounds. We made some unselfish plays. Terrell kind of got us going a little bit, and then VJ hit a three, and Roland hit a three, and then they did a good job of finishing off the game. Tommy made 2 free throws. Terrell made 2 free throws to end the game. The last 5 minutes were great. I wish we could just put that on repeat through the other 35 minutes, and it would be pretty fun to watch. That's the potential of what we have, and I hate that word. And we're running out of games. We're right at the midway point right now as far as the season, but we've got to stop having potential and start putting it on the court. And we did that those last 5 minutes.
But now that you finally, the guys that got that feeling of winning, they can do it after coming so close. How important is that to kind of get that monkey off their back, just kind of going forward?
I think that was huge because, it's not the first game we've won this season. It's not the first good team we beat this season. But because of how the conference schedule is kind of broken, we played Newman and Northeastern, and then we played another 3 or 4 non-conference games going into Christmas, and then we come back and we're back in the conference. So, but all the guys see is where you are in the standings.
Right.
And those 2 games count just like every other game equally. And so they don't, the fact that we beat Drury and Quincy and some other teams, along the way after those games, they don't see those because now they're kind of wiped away and we're just looking at conference standings because we're all trying to qualify for the MIAA tournament and, try to get up there and play in March. And so they just see they're at the bottom. So you're right. It does feel like the monkey was on our back. And, my hope is this is kind of a springboard going forward and now we can just play good basketball and they've kind of forgotten about that. And they really should, because if you look at the standings, it's just a mosh right now. I mean, Washburn's kind of separated themselves up top. Rogers, NSU, kind of the 4 and 2, and then everybody else is like 3 and 3, 2 and 4, 1 and 5. I mean, it's just a big wash.
Still a ways to go here.
And there's a ton of games to be played. I mean, we still, like I said, we played 6 league games now, so we have 13 more to go. I mean, that's a lot that can happen between now and the end of the season.
Now, you kind of mentioned, VJ, Roland, even Deontay coming off the bench, Terrell. Terrell had 9 of his 18 during the run yesterday. He had 4 guys in double figures. including 3 of them off the bench. He had 45 bench points yesterday. I don't see like there's a guy that's, consistently going to get you 20, but I feel like you got 6 or 7 guys that can go out and get you 10 to 15 easily every night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Deontay because I think he had his best game yesterday. I mean, I think he was as good as he's been all year long. And you're right. Currently we battle the consistency thing. It would help me if I knew one guy was going to go out and do this. But the one thing that kind of helps our inconsistencies is we do have so many different guys who could go be explosive. And like you're right, like Terrell and VJ and Roland and Deontay all kind of put it together there, and Isaiah and Elijah and the other guys necessarily didn't. But like on Wednesday, I mean, Tommy had 20 whatever he has, and so it's just we have a lot of guys. You're right that can perform. If we can get more of them to do it on the same nights. Again, that goes back to just not having those lulls, but also just the explosiveness and the potential we could get to if we can just be more consistent together.
I kind of highlighted Tommy. I feel like he played 2 of his better games this week. Wednesday, he had 23, 8, and 4 against Rogers, and I think he had like 18 of those in the second half as he almost willed the team back.
Yeah, no, he did. He almost single-handedly got us back in and won us that game on Wednesday. And Tommy's a really good player for us. He's still figuring it out. They all are. And I'm excited where he's going. But yeah, you're right. He played phenomenal Wednesday.
So looking ahead, you're back at Northeastern this week. They're 10-5, 4-2 in the league, as you mentioned. They beat us here in one of those many close games that we've had. What do you need to do to be able to beat them this week at their place?
They are probably the best offensive team in the conference right now.
I say looking at it
based off of their stats, they are they're so good offensively. They move the ball so well. They've got a lot of guys who can shoot it and drive it, and they make good plays. I mean, 2 of their guys have huge assist to turnover ratios in a positive manner. They're 2 kind of their point guards. They have 2 point guards that kind of play together. So the first thing I would tell you is we got to figure out a way to stay in front of them for us to have a chance. And then we got to really put a lot of pressure on them on the defensive end. We can't bail them out with taking suspect shots. We need to make sure we're taking great shots because if you take a bad shot versus a really good offensive team like this, the score just starts separating really quickly because they come back down, they take a good offense possession, you come down, take another bad defense possession, and the game can separate out too fast. And so first thing we got to do is stay in front of people, try to guard them. The second thing is we got to really value our possessions offensively because we don't want that to ignite their offense on the other end.
I say, like you said, one of the top offensive teams. I was doing some research before we came on here. They're the top 3-point shooting team in the league, the only team in the league over 40%.
Yeah. And like Phipps is shooting 52 or 53%. I mean, and everybody in the league knows he's going to shoot it, and he's shooting 50%. I mean, almost 54%. And that's outstanding. And they've got, it's not just him. They obviously, as a team, if they're shooting above 40, they have more guys than just him. But yeah, I mean, when teams are making 40% from threes, now you got to stress about the line, and then they're driving you and they're passing it, and just you get kind of caught in that web of trying to take care of this, and that opens up that, and there will be a really tough task for us on Thursday. I got a lot of confidence in our guys and in our team, but they are a really, really good basketball team.
And it's one of the, the shortest trip of the year. So hopefully we get a good, crowd up there on Thursday.
I hope so. I mean, this is why we wanted to jump in this league, is to be able to have our fans travel to Tahlequah, have our fans travel to Claremore, have our fans travel to Joplin, which we did have some up in Joplin. We had some in Pittsburgh. And that's kind of why we made the move. So now our people can go see us more than just at home and kind of develop those rivalries. And this is literally the closest school in the league, so what better if you're going to go on a road game to test out what it looks like on the road? Well, what a better game to go to than this one here in Tahlequah.
All right, so there you go. You have it. 7:30 p.m. Thursday. The Lions are at Northeastern State. Support your Lions by making the short trip up to Tahlequah, or you can watch them on the MIAA network. Again, that's Thursday at 7:30. Good luck this week, Coach.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
All right, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be joined by women's coach Ryan McAdams after this. And welcome back to the Lions Den. I am Jocelyn Pomplin, joined by women's basketball head coach Ryan McAdams. Coach, how's it going today?
Going real well. A lot of energy today. Start of the second semester, getting our textbooks in place and starting classes up for the spring. So a lot of energy today. Day off for the kids after a Sunday game. So a rare weekday that we're off the floor. So a lot of good things today.
Kind of helps you only got one game this week.
Yes, it does. Big help there.
But
yes.
Speaking of energy, you went 2-0 this past week against Rogers and UCO, defended home court, now 7-0 at home on the season.
Yeah, our kids are comfortable here. They weren't easy games. None of our home games, our conference home games have been easy. They've been fourth quarter kind of in the balance, figure it out and finish them off. And proud of the way the kids shot the ball yesterday specifically in here. But we want to protect home court as much as we can, and heading into the teeth of the conference play, we're going to need these home games to help us with our record.
Let's say you said, speaking, kind of a little bit offensively, you had 4 players in double figures in the win over UCO yesterday, and then I was kind of going through who should I nominate for player of the week, and there was no one that was way up here, but you had 4 players averaging 12, 12 points a game and all that, and then. So talk a little bit about the balance of your roster right now.
Yesterday, specifically, we gave Lane Kirkendall the game ball, 14 rebounds. Pretty much they were one and done down the stretch, and 3 or 4 of her defensive rebounds were down the stretch. She closed the door. Sinitra Jones has 17 yesterday off the bench and did a terrific job of attacking. We let the other team's big get going a little bit. And, our ball screen coverages were not what they should have been, and we made that adjustment. That was a coaching thing that needed to be adjusted, and we finally made that change and took care of that. But offensively, Mo Browning has 7 assists and 0 turnovers yesterday, and Z and T both, our point guards, have 1 turnover apiece after a not so great ball control game against Rogers on Thursday. So balance is really important. You want the other team, the opposing team, to not be able to scout specific kids, and you want multiple weapons coming at people. Anna Trusty is making shots right now and hitting the O-glass really hard. Deja Smith has stepped in and hit a shot or 2. So, we want that kind of balance, and we're excited about it moving forward. We want the kids to keep building confidence in themselves and have the ability for anybody to hurt the opponent on any given night.
I say, and offensively, you had another 30-point quarter in the second quarter yesterday.
Yeah, that's not really our MO, but we'll take it. We shot the ball better yesterday than we have in weeks past. We made 10 threes as a team, and that obviously helps. I also think penetration, getting people in the paint, and then, like I say, Mo with 7 assists. She did a great job facilitating yesterday and finding shooters. If I'm just as excited about the 9-point defensive quarter in the fourth as I am about the 30-point offensive quarter. We gave up 3 20-plus point quarters to UCO in the first 3 quarters, and then shut them down for 9 in the fourth and close out the game. You got to score to win, but you also got to get stops, and that was something that happened yesterday. Now
you kind of touched on my next 2 questions. You highlighted them a little bit earlier. Sinitra, 17 points, Lane, 14 rebounds. Sinitra had 2 blocks as well yesterday. Both rank in the top 10 in the MIAA in blocks for a team that leads the league with 4.7 blocks per game. Yeah, you need rim protection, and you need it to be tough and strong and physical, and we continue to work on that with both of our posts. And and Mackenzie Piper, as our third post right now, does her best. She played a great 6 minutes yesterday when we needed her. Lane got in foul trouble in the first half, but our point guard position, our post position, we were able to platoon different kids. The point guard spot was Anaya Thomas and Talisha Brown, and the post position with Lane Kirkendall and Sinitra Jones. Anytime that you can sub, people in and have there not be much of a drop off, if any, is a luxury. And it's something that we really don't take for granted and we value. And I'm really proud of the development and the growth that our post players have made offensively, confidence-wise. And they're both long. They've been long. They're both athletic. They've been athletic. They both protect the rim. And when we can keep them on the floor and not in foul trouble, they really impact the basketball game. And yesterday, Johnny had 17 and the 2 blocks. And, again, Lane scores, I think, 6, but, 14 rebounds. And, we need them on the glass more than anything right now. And they're really doing their jobs. Yeah, and you mentioned Talisha. She had 2 big threes there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. T starts on just about a lot of other teams in our region, in our conference. Talk about someone who has come to the table with immense humility and the understanding, the willingness to put the team first. She and Z are a toss-up on given nights. For them to, between the two of them, have 20 points yesterday, 11 and 9. But I can't sing T's praises enough. To lead the Lone Star last year in steals, that she's a defensive threat. She was also in an offensive system that was post-based first. And I think that we are an offensive system that has allowed her to showcase some of her offensive skills. She can shoot the ball. She can score the ball. She can get in the paint on people. She's got a great knack at just the point guard position, both offensively and defensively, how to be pesky on the ball, how to make the right pass. T is one of those people that hasn't thrown any fits, hasn't, given us demands of I want to start or else I don't want to, give you what I have for this team. She is a team-oriented individual and we're so thrilled that we have her here. She and Z both compete with each other in practice. Mm-hmm. They don't resent each other. They don't root, ill will against the other. They want each other to be successful, and they want each other to make each other better. And I love the dynamic, and I love the chemistry at our point guard position. And both individuals are huge just assets to our program and winning on both sides of the ball. And, T, she can shoot the ball. Z can shoot the ball. They're not just facilitating point guards, and we love that about them.
And now, I remember last week, you were on the road at two of the better teams in the league. You said, defensively we got away from it a little bit. Mm-hmm. You come back home Wednesday against Rogers State, holding to 53 points. Mm-hmm. How did you get back to kind of your core defensive principles?
Well, we don't want to give the ball, let the ball get to the middle, Justin. And there was an increased emphasis on, closing out to inside shoulder and top shoulder and whatever you want to call it. We'd gotten away from some of those fundamentals, just trying to get back into the flow of things with the break coming to an end and 3 days of practice and before games. So and even with a short week, right, or a quick turnaround week, we played Wednesday instead of Thursday. So we had one less day of practice before our next game. But Monday and Tuesday were defensive and incentivized practices. And so I'm proud of him for that. Like I said earlier, we gave up 60-plus points in 3 quarters on Sunday as well. I thought UCO shot the ball really well and played well offensively, but we have some kids that have renewed emphasis, renewed focus on the defensive fundamentals that we want in our system, and we hope to continue to build on that this week. Playing Thursday, we have tomorrow and Wednesday to practice and prepare for Northeastern State, and we are going to continue to put the emphasis on the defensive end of the floor. And when the kids really respond to that, when they really commit to that, we're a better team. We're winning with stops right now. And when the game is on the line and it's in the balance, and we have depth that allows us to have a little bit fresher legs than some folks, but then we also just have an emphasis on the defensive end. And I'm proud of the kids for how they're handling that.
And when you forced 25 turnovers, you scored 29 easy points.
Yeah, we love live ball turnovers if we can get them. Again, we're not anywhere near where we're going to be. Deja Smith is continuing to get comfortable, and one of her best sides of the ball, her better side of the ball is the defensive side, with length and athleticism, and she gives us a different punch on that side. People like Hannah Boyette have improved defensively. People like, Sinitra Jones on switching onto guards have improved defensively. Our guards have developed a sense of toughness that when we switch onto bigs and in ball screen coverages, they sit on people's knees and they push and they full front the post. And, we really are just continuing to build and build and build. Sometimes it reflects in team stats and opponent point totals and things like that, but we're really looking at individualized improvement, growth, development, and there are tangible ways to measure that on the defensive end, other than just how many points you're giving up. Are people getting into help on time? Are they sprinting places? Are they in the positions we expect them to be in? Are we staying in front of the basketball? Those are things that we as a staff are continuing to evaluate, and we just want to keep building.
And talking a little bit about Deja, you signed her at semester. For the people that kind of just following, she kind of came out of nowhere. Like I said, signed at semester.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you found her and what she's been to the team.
Yeah. One of the more unique situations in my 23 years. Normally, you have to be enrolled in the fall to compete. Situation, just the way the NCAA works and the rules are, and the Division II level and all the things, the road cleared for her to compete. And you're talking about a team that went into the break 8-3, great chemistry, high level connectivity, and we rolled the dice as this coaching staff and me as an individual. I rolled the dice on bringing in an individual and adding to our roster in the middle of a successful season to that point. My vision is one that I still see being carried out. She, has played at a few different schools. She's played at a high level, multiple Division I institutions. But regardless of the level, Deja has come in here with a team-oriented mentality. She does not want to upset the apple cart. She wants to compete and help us win games. She is trying to acclimate to our team. And our team is doing the best it can day to day to invite her and implement her into our team, into our chemistry, into our system. With time comes comfort, right? So time on the floor together, developing chemistry with the basketball on the court. Time off the floor together. She got here December 29th. She's been here about 2 weeks. That is a blip on the radar. That is a very small period of time in the grand scheme of an entire season, an entire year. We're only going to get more comfortable with each other. We're only going to get better together. We're only going to continue to move forward. I'm really proud of my team. I'm really proud of my team for their ability to accept her, welcome her, believe in what our coaching staff has for them in the future and what our vision is for this semester, specifically this semester, as she added to the roster. But Deja's 5'11" tall. She can play the wing and the forward. She can shoot the ball. She can guard the ball. She can do different things. But mostly, like I say, I've just been really impressed with her and our overall team's ability to blend and to try to get to know each other better on and off the floor and to move forward as a team. This is a really important period of time. This is the start of the second semester. This is the middle of the MIAA schedule. This is, a really great season for us so far as a program, and this is a really important time. We don't, this wasn't, we're losing a bunch of games, so let's just see what we can do. No, we were winning games, and we still added her to our roster, and I'm excited for what's to come. And again, I'm just really proud of our program, the culture that our kids have, the leadership that our kids have, to do the best they can to bring her in. And like I say, I think she's going about the right way that I can tell, and the future is bright.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing more of her. Recently, NCAA writer named Anna Trusty as one of the top 15 freshmen to watch for the rest of the season, in all of Division II. And I think she had another double-double on Wednesday, leads the team in scoring, right up there, leading the team in rebounding. How has she transitioned to the college game this year, and how has she fit in for you guys this year?
She's the best offensive rebounder I've ever coached. She crashes the glass from anywhere on the floor, whether she's on the wing position or she's in the area of the rim. She's relentless. Her motor is very consistent. She's one of the biggest competitors I've ever been around. If you walk in and watch us practice, there are times where she sets herself apart. When other people are having bad days, she stays consistent. I say all those things first because those are all want-to things. Those are all habits, and those are all competitive spirit characteristics. And, a lot of credit needs to be given to Clay Reeves and Ryan Lensing at Greenwood High School. Anna is different when it comes to effort and motor. Her skill set speaks for itself. She can shoot the ball. Our kids know how and when to find her when they need to. She fits into our system well. We're still working with all of them, along with Anna, on just shot selection and decision making. But she's, the national acclaim, great. She deserves it. Is that going to impact or change her work ethic or her approach? Zero chance that's going to happen. As I said on the quote for the gentleman who wrote the article, she's as good of a teammate as she is a basketball player, and that is a very critical part to her success. Chemistry is everything. Confidence is everything. And she works at both for herself and for her teammates. And again, it's another example of a freshman who came in on a team with 5 seniors, and they have recognized the value that she brings, and they have done their best to encourage her and blend her into what we were doing before she got here. And as a coach, you can't ask for anything more than that. And so Anna is a product of her work. She's a product of our team's willingness to welcome her and to encourage her and build her up. And we're happy she's here. I mean, she's a very gifted freshman, and all the things about her age and those sorts of things. You know, it's second semester now. A second semester freshman is practically a sophomore.
Right.
So, you know, those kind of identifications of her age, you know, it's time to probably start throwing those out the window. And she's 6 games into her MIAA career. You don't play in the MIAA and not grow one way or the other, and not become a more seasoned basketball player. So, you know, she's one of the group, and the group does a great job playing together right now, offensively and defensively. But yeah, she's had a good season to this point, and we're excited about her future.
Yeah. They've enjoyed watching her play so far, you know, and excited to watch her the rest of the season and even beyond. And, you know, it's nice that, you know, she's a local kid too, to hopefully bring in some local fans.
Yeah.
To the games as well.
Yeah, the energy she brings, and, you know, Brooklyn Woolsey's part of that. Abby Summit is part of that. You know, Hannah Boyette is part of that. You know, we love the basketball that's being played in the region at the high school level, and we're excited by the support that signing those kids brings, but they also have to be able to play. This isn't a political move. These are people that contribute to our team in any way they can. You know, people like Brooklyn Woolsey, she hasn't played a ton of minutes, but she contributes to our team. The chemistry she brings to our team, the commitment and investment she puts into our team matters, and it improves us as a group every day in the practice gym. She shows up and she does the work. You know, Abby Summit's a junior. She's been doing it for a few years already. So, yeah, you know, we love the local talent. We love the local support. But you also have to do it the right way. And all 4 of those kids, you know, throw Hannah Boyette in there, but right across the state line, you know, all 4 of those kids do it the right way.
It's like you said, even if you don't contribute in game, if you're, you know, a big part of the, you know, practice squad, you know, giving the team the scout looks,
Yep.
You know, that's also very important here. That preached all the time.
Yeah, and you can tell the value of people by how the team responds to their success. When Brooke hits a shot in practice, when people hit shots, the team speaks to them. They support them. They uplift them. You know, they value them, and they know the importance that person brings to the team. You know, chemistry is an overused word, but you know, when people walk into the gym on a daily basis and they bring what they have and they do the best they can, you know, that's not taken for granted by any of us in the program. And yeah, I mean, and it is important. You know, we like to try to have a male scout team come in and compete with us, and sometimes the consistency of that wanes. And so it does matter what the second group, you know, can provide us as far as competition, as far as simulation of game stuff and strategy. And so, yeah, everybody plays a role, and everybody needs to be committed to their role. And the group that we currently have right now is.
All right. And last thing, so a little preview for this week. You beat Northeastern State earlier this season, 72-64 here at the Stubblefield Center. What's it going to take to go up there and get the season sweep?
40 minutes. They were up 2 against UCO on Thursday, and finished the game 29-8 and won by 28-9 and won by 21 points. They, you know, we had a game that was in the balance into the fourth quarter against them here. We need to finish the game on the road. You look at our Missouri Southern game, we're tied in the fourth. You look at our Pitt State game, we're down 7 with 7 minutes to go. And we got closed out on the road by people that finished the game better than we did. We've done that now the last 2 games. And this is something I've shared with my team, going to continue to share with my team this week. Rogers State, you know, we pull away at the end. Yesterday against UCO, we pull away at the end. We cannot allow that to happen on the road. And we're going to need people to make shots. We're going to need people to guard. We're going to need to know their stuff, know their personnel. Just like always, we're going to need to be prepared with our scout, and we'll have 2 days to prepare, which is the normal amount of time. We're finally we're back into class, and you know, those of us who are creatures of habit, we're in athletics, we want consistency, right? We don't want them to just go back to their apartments and hang out and not have things that keep them occupied and whatever. You know, today starts the semester. I'm excited about kind of being back into the routine, if you will. So I'm looking for really good things. It's an hour and what? How far is Tahlequah? Not far. Hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
Only because it's back roads.
Yeah, I mean, and the roads are cleared now. So if we invite fans to make that short trip to our travel partner, one of the newfound or renewed rivalries that have come with the MIAA schedule, and we're excited about our only game this week, and we're definitely gearing up for it.
Yeah, and I think one thing you said about fourth quarter, I think you finally got your legs back under you from the break.
I agree. That's a great point, Jocelyn. I think, and we can continue to get in better shape and continue to get back. But you're right. I think we finally kind of broke through that second and third wind the right way and finished basketball games, and so we hope to do the same this week.
All right, so 5:30 p.m. Thursday at Northeastern State. You can make the short drive up to Tahlequah to support the Lions or view it on the MIAA network. Coach, thank you for joining me today, and good luck Thursday.
Appreciate it, Justin. Thank you.
And that does it for another episode of the Lions Den. Make sure to tune in next week.